just another tiered top or dress, or elevate it? Today we are looking at the decorative elements that you could use on any garment, be it an upcycle or a self-make, and there's stacks of decorative stuff we can do. So we're looking at that and 3 key areas where we could do those things. Let's talk straps. Now you can always change out a strap from an existing garment and make it prettier. You just have to take off the top tier, the first tier, separate that, and then you could go inside and take that out and put something else back in. But let's talk about how we make a plain strap really nice and pretty. So in my case of my top, I'm talking about my top first, and then I'll talk about other options because there's loads. I just put a nice lace trim down and it was a straight stitch all the way down. But I decided against the tucked in straps and went for something asymmetric and long. So let me tell you how I finished the ends. Because I've got this piece that I've done the bottom hem of the top with, I'm actually going to do that on the straps. And I'm going to tuck that under, I think, the end of the lace under, and just whip across. And then that end has just that tiny smidge of selvage poking out. And to do that, I'm just going to basically put a cap around that. Finished my ends so that they don't fray. There's the strap end. It's not going to fray, and I'm just going to put it down like that. I've measured out how much I need, and I've just finished the raw edges again because this stuff needs it. I'm just sizing that up, and I'm going to sew down on this cap. Let's see if that's going to work. Good, I think that's about the right size. That's the cap now. As you can see, the sewn bits on the inside have just flicked him inside out. Now I'm going to flick down this bit, and I'm going to top stitch. These are the capped straps, and of course I wanted to put lace over the top and properly finish that. Another corner, pivot, and then we'll just sew it back up. So these are the end caps of these straps, and they're all finished. Now the last thing I want to do, just because this join is a little, it's not perfect, but you don't have to do this if yours is perfect, or if you just don't mind, a little bit of a rusty look. I'm just going to disguise it. If I can get my finger to pick this up, I'm going to just pop a little bead. Okay, I'll come back when it's done because clearly my fingers don't want to do this on camera. Finished straps with a little bit of decorative hot fix that smudged the margins. The only other thing is I stitched on a folded in half ribbon on the back, and that increased the asymmetry, which I really, really liked. Other ideas for the straps. You could use the selvedge. So all I've done is pieced it together. Now I didn't do it particularly evenly because I'm dealing with dregs. Even if you made such an uneven join as I have just to show you, that could be beautiful if you put down that down the middle. Of course you can choose to do it the top stitch, or you can do it the proper open out and fold over. You could even open this out and give it an iron and put it in its wider state. that could equally be beautiful. Don't forget there's lots of colours with that. This here I thought I'd show you as another idea. And now this is double-sided elastic, searching for words there. So it normally goes around edges like that. It becomes quite thick when you've folded it. And we don't have to use the stretch. We could, if we had this pretty stuff, just use it as we would a lace or a trim. That's not using the stretch. Let's see what happens when I do use the stretch. I've just put this on a zigzag. I think it's just because it's going to give more hold. And I would use a matching thread if I were to do this as a real thing, but I'm showing you. And now I'm going to have to start a little bit in because I want to hold my elastic in order to get the stretch. You can see I'm giving it stretch. All right, that'll do. Now we've got a ruched strap. Again, how beautifully pretty, and we'd do a matching thread. Top stitching anything gives it more character, flavour, beauty, and you don't have to do it in black or white, or you can choose colours. We could always inject colour into a plain top. Now if you had done this strap without a fold, if you had done it as two pieces joined together, kind of like that, but of course the same size, then you can also insert lace. Could be on one side towards the shoulder, could be on both sides. How pretty. Let's talk tiers, because this is another very easy place where you can put something interesting. And we'll do upcycles first. So if you've got an existing top, one of the obvious things that we could do is put some bias binding on. Now the bias binding is adapted to go around curves. So even if your tiers are cut on a circle or a curve, which graceful ones are, this is going to go around very nicely. If your tiers are cut rectangularly, it's still going to work. Okay, so bias binding, you could just plonk it on top like this and top stitch the top and top stitch the underneath, and you'd be done. I am going to go through a better method for when you make your own clothes. Okay, I'm just showing you how adaptable that bias binding is to go around curves. Another idea, I think that dangly kinds of lace are really fun. If I were to do that, what would I do? I may choose to zigzag over that. Just put it on top. You could do all the way down, couldn't you? That'd make a real fun top or a dress. The proper way of doing your bias binding, whether you have an enclosed seam or not, is to open the binding out. And when we've got that, see that crease there along our seam, we're going to miss that so it doesn't show through when the binding's closed up. It's really just a long straight stitch all the way around the tier, and then we'll have to close the binding up. Let me show you. Stitch along here on that crease, and then we're going to, I don't think I've done enough, but fold him down like that, tuck him under like an envelope. You don't have to do that bit, but I like to do that bit, and fold it down like that, and then we'll be top stitching along there. You will need to do a lot of pinning. And yes, this is my knee. it's just a whole lot easier. And then I like to go and press this as well. This is the first row of top stitching, and if you need some help with how to sew straight, I will put a little video in the corner, and that's all it is. It's just about sewing straight. So after we've done that, we've got one row of top stitching, and then you can leave it like that, or you can choose to go along after that one and do a second row just to be symmetrical. And that's bias binding, super cute. And you can also enclose seams, so it's seamless feel. Now, I also should say there's a particular way to join your bias binding so it's a perfect fit, and that video will appear in the right corner top when it's published. I've got 3 ideas for your hems for you. So if you're doing an upcycle or even a you make, a me make, how about adding a little bit of lace around the bottom? You do a normal type of hem, you could just run that around just under the edge, pop it under there, run that around, and just let that be a decorative finish. You could keep it the same colour, you could make it a different colour, you could put it in like this and then fold it down and just make a little mini trim. Now the next type of ending for your top, it's a tier that's a different size and possibly a different texture or shape. So you could decide to do a ruffle as your ending tier. Now, if you've got a selvage, you don't have to hem, otherwise you will have to choose a hem, like a rolled hem or any type of hem. But did you notice my incredibly gorgeous hem on my top? Now I used just a straight piece, a very long straight piece of the selvage to trim all the way around and enclose all those edges. So this is the outside and that's the inside. Let me talk you through that one. What I've got here is just a piece of straight material, which has got that selvage on the edge. So it's only, I don't even know how wide it is, probably 3 centimeters. And it's just been finished because this is super, super frayable. And so that's been overlocked, This is the last tier of my top. And then the idea with this, so right side, and we're going to, instead of seaming around with the edges together, I'm going to pull this one up. We'll put the edge of that overlocking right on the edge of, at the outer edge of this overlocking. And just a little few millimeters in the middle. Now the stitching is going to go here. And I also want you to remember that this is, when we go around curves, this really should be cut on the bias to go around smoothly. But if you cut it on the bias, you cannot get this selvage edge. It will not be there. So let me show you what I'm going to be doing with it. It may have a few creases in the final product, but that's going to be underneath. What that will do is, that's our stitch line. And the outside, it's coming out, the outside's going to then look like that. So I've got that beautiful raggedy selvage poking out. On the inside though, I don't want anything touching my skin. So this is then going to get tucked down like that. Do an envelope edge again over that bit. And then just like I did with my bias binding, I'm going to be seaming there. So we'll get that kind of margin of stitching, just like I've got this margin of stitching along here. Now we do have to join up our 2 ends, so we leave a gap in the sewing and just fold back both ends, and we're going to dot, well, once we've laid it out so we know we've got enough to finish that circumference, we're going to just dot in where we're going to join those pieces together. Dot those in and then fold them together and take them to the machine, stitch that closed. And that's our joined bit of binding. And then we'll lie it back down around that tier and starting from where we left the gap, we're going to stitch and fill the gap so that that tier is fully sewn around with our little bit of edging. All of this has now been pressed. You can see that gets tucked in here, made flat. That edge is going to stick out. And we'll be stitching along here. Okay, so we can see it's going a little bit weird through here. This is about the only section so far, and that's what I meant about a straight piece of fabric going around a curve. It will sometimes not behave perfectly like something that's cut on the bias, but because we've kept this so narrow, it's helping an enormous lot, so always try and keep it narrow. And if you need to slightly just pleat it to get it to fit, that's okay. This is the underside. So here's the final result. This is our bad side underneath, and you can see everything. We don't have anything like this. It's all been tucked under there from both bits of overlocking. It's all tucked away and sewn in there, so it's a really lovely finish. The right side, it's got a little bit of body in there just because we've got 2 rows of overlocking and just one more piece of material. But there we go. We've got this decorative selvage as our hem, and everything, all the raw edges, are finished. 15 ways, wowzers, 15 ways we can elevate tiered stuff. Dresses, skirts, tops, and they're all the rage, so you can upcycle or you can make from your existing patterns. There's a load of them out there. If you've been holding off making up another tiered something because it's just another tiered something, well, there's something for beginners all the way through to advanced there. Pick something, make it special, have some fun. And if you enjoyed the content, do buy me a coffee. The link is in the description, and enjoy your comfy life. I will see you next time.